Hi everybody, it's Cindy from Ideas Times 2. Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm finishing a project, and I thought I would just turn the camera on and share what I'm working with and craft, and maybe inspire you, give you some ideas, or just keep you company while you're crafting. So not a tutorial, just a craft with me. I'm going to fill the folio today and get this project finished. So 2 weeks ago, I did a tutorial on how to make this folio, and just using a standard file folder. And today I want to fill it up, and so I've got a pocket here and a small pocket on top of the pocket, another pocket. I have this flippy section here in another pocket. So just 4 places that I need to fill. And as you can see from the cover of my folio, this is an Edgar Allan Poe project. And it's not as dark or macabre as previous Edgar Allan Poe projects that I've done. But you know, it's fall, heading towards Halloween. I thought this would be a fun time to do another project on Poe, and so I'm going to put that to the side. And I've already completed a journal and have some leftovers, some more papers to put in my scrap bin, and some tags, some book pages from a Poe story. Here are some pieces that are left over that I cut off from the folio that I thought would be perfect for making tags or cards. Some Poe quotes, some various Poe ephemera, just leftovers from the project, from the journal I just did, and more book pages, some stained wax paper, and tags and leftovers. And thought I would maybe try to turn some of this into something productive and get this folio filled so I can get this project done and in our Etsy shop. So maybe I will start with a card. Let's make a card or 2 out of these. And a lot of the stuff that I have left over is, you know, like this. I didn't like what I did the first time, so I tried to make it better by doing something else, and then I made it even worse, and then I keep trying to make this usable. I don't think it's going to be, but this piece isn't too bad. So maybe do something with that, and a little bit of this waxed paper. Tuck that behind there. And let's see. And I've got, these sheets have portraits of Poe, and I think maybe I will add one of these portraits and try to balance it out by putting something there. Let's see, maybe I'll tear. Kind of keep with the style of the other things that are on there. And I hate to fussy cut. I know people who fussy cut like crazy, and they get so much done while they're watching TV at night, and I just can't make myself fussy cut. just don't like this. I just don't want to waste it though. But I have lots of other book pages. Well, not lots, but I have more than enough book page. And this is from the same story, The Cask of Amontillado. Maybe instead of making it vertical, we'll make it, and here's the red. Or maybe not. About a month ago, I had my 9th grade students make journals. We just did a one signature journal, and I taught them, you know, how to do a three-hole signature, three-hole pamphlet stitch. That was a hoot, let me tell you. And I had all sorts of papers for them to put in their journal, and I let them pick from the papers. And I had torn paper in there, and of course, as a journaler, I had just all sorts of papers, scrap papers, and one of the boys in my class almost had a fit because he did not like having torn paper. He had to straighten his edges. Because I don't think I can write on this if it's not if the pages aren't straight. Then I had other kids who completely embraced the idea of junk journals. And they turned their final project in on Thursday. So it was fun to get to read and see what they put in their journals. It's so white. Nothing else is that white. It's kind of annoying. Give it a little bit more color. I'm just using Fabri-Tac. I think I need something here. I've been using the same washi tape in a number of places in the same journal, so I think I'm going to use this, but it's really too wide for this, so I'm going to tear it. And just add a little bit of color there. Today is a holiday here in the States. It's Labor Day, and I hope people have gotten the day off and a chance to rest. Kind of the irony that Labor Day was a holiday intended for the working class, and it seems it's been co-opted by people who like to shop, and so the working class Americans often have to work on Labor Day. But we don't have school today. And there's no mail or banking today. All right, what do you think? Pretty simple. And I think after the glue dries, I'm going to add some stitching. But for now, I think that looks good. Set that off to the side. Maybe do another one so that there's a bit of a balance. want to make maybe a notebook or a notepad of some kind. And that looks like it's not the right size. And I'm inking it now, but after I sew, I'll probably ink it up again. I just love these little folios. I think they're so much fun to make, and I like making ephemera, so it's a fun project for I was going to say fall day, but it's not fall. In Virginia, it doesn't turn fall until much later. Let's see. What do I want to use? Since the other one has the portrait, maybe I'll go with his name on this one. And this one I'll have to fussy cut, I think. And maybe I'll use that too. And it is a beautiful day here. It's in the 80s, so it's a little warm, but the sky's blue and there's a light breeze. It just doesn't get much prettier than days like this. What are you guys all working on? You can put down in the chat what projects you're working on. Are you looking ahead toward Christmas, working on your fall journals? Maybe Halloween. Okay. And I think give that a background. Give it a little more color up on the top. Like I said, this project I'm working on is not as focused on Poe's, Gothic stories. They're not, quite as dark, but, Poe wrote a lot more than just, stories like The Telltale Heart and poems like The Raven. He also wrote detective stories. In fact, he's credited with having invented the detective story. and literary criticism and all sorts of other things. It's definitely, this project's definitely vintage, but it's not quite as dreary. I have a friend who has, her family, her parents actually have a first edition poem, I believe Annabelle Lee, and they sell for quite a bit of money. But when she was little, she used to take it to school for show and tell, and they put it like in a Ziploc bag and stick them in their backpacks, she and her sister, to take for show and tell. I think that's kind of hysterical. That's kind of boring. It's kind of plain. But the stitching always makes a difference. And it doesn't have to be anything not everything has to be super elaborate or embellished. I think sometimes simple is a good thing. But since we have a little bit of this left over, just add a little color. And so I think that looks pretty good. And just cruising right along. Let's see, I'm going to make a notepad. So in my stack here, I thought I had some cardstock. Pretty sure I had some cardstock in here. Oh, there it is. And I need it to be it to fit under here, so it needs to be about 4 inches wide, and we'll go with 4 by 6 1/4. Clean up some of my mess here. So about 4 inches wide. And I'm just using this scrap of Tim Holtz paper. And tore it when I was taking it out of the paper pad. And so it needs to be about 6 1/2 inches or so. I'm going to just fold this over. Make sure it'll fit where I want to put it before. Yep, I figured it would, but I wanted to make sure it would fit in there before I made it. And I'm just going to put scrap papers in here, whatever I happen to have laying around here. And when I printed these lined papers, I accidentally printed, well, it defaulted. The person who made the stationery set has it defaulted to print vertically, but it doesn't really print this direction. It needs to go portrait rather than horizontal. So I wound up wasting a bunch. So I have a bunch of scrap with lines on it, which I kind of like. And you know, this one, you can see on this, it's got a heart on there. So probably wouldn't want to put that in botanical journal, but I can still use the lined paper. And let's see, maybe I'll cut this one. Trim off the edges. I have my printer set to print all the way to the edge, and it still doesn't print to the edge. I wind up with these little 1/8 of an inch borders around all my papers. It's kind of irritating. Okay. I don't want it to be too thick, but I don't want to be skimpy either. This is all just stuff that was going to wind up in my scrap bin, which is already way out of control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a little skimpy. Let's say we add a couple more. And I have so much interesting stuff here on my desk. Let's go ahead and use this one up here. Okay, so I think there's 1, 2, 6 in here. 6 pieces of miscellaneous trash papers that were on my desk. 7. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a basting stitch on here and then embellish it a little bit, and I think it'll be good. So I'm going to do a little bit of sewing. I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, I'm back, and I have, so what I did was just to sew around the outside of each of these cards, and I added a Poe quote on there just to add another layer of collaging, just another little element. And so I left them blank on the back so they can be used for journaling, placeholders, bookmarks, whatever. And then here's the little paper pad that I made, and I had actually done it on camera, but the camera had turned off. So what I did was just to do a basting stitch under here so paper can be torn out. Excuse me, Lizzie. Added a couple of eyelets and some jute for just a little embellishment, but I think that turned out pretty cute. And I had already had collected a few other things and made a few other things to go in the folio. So hopefully between this pile of stuff, it will be enough to fill up our folio. So let's open it up, and the easy thing is the notepad. I'm going to put in here. And let's see, let's put this back here. Here's a little concertina journal that I made using Edgar Allan Poe playing cards, and I didn't want to alter them. I didn't want to alter them at all, because on the one side it's got this great portrait of Edgar Allan Poe, and on the other side it has a quote, and I just glued that down to a piece of coffee stained paper and sewed kind of wonkily around it, and made this little notebook. And it's kind of thick, so I'm going to put it there in the front pocket. This card, it's a nice big card. Lined paper on one side, this little snippet from the Cask of Amontillado. I'm going to pop that in that pocket. Let's see, this is just, I don't even know where I got this ephemera, but I thought it was kind of Gothic-y looking. So let's put that in there. Got a few little things in this little tiny pocket. So, and they're just little snippets of kind of Gothic looking things. And so I'm going to put those in the small pocket here in the front. And so let's see. I really don't like that there. Let me put that to the side for a second. And put these here in the front, the ones we just made. This is just an offcut that I rounded the corners and inked the edges. I thought that was a nice complement to the other ones. and an ATC. Put that in this pocket as well. Let's put this one here in the back. I think I like the colors better. There. So then these two are just a couple of I want it to be balanced and I want it to be full, but I don't want it to explode either. I don't know, I think it needs something else in this pocket. So what do I have in here? About a book page. And just fold it. And tuck it there in the back. I think that's better. Gives it a little bit more balance. And then it closes kind of into the shape of an M, like that. Nice and full. What did we put in here? 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different items fit in there pretty comfortably. And I might add some sari silk for a closure, but I'm going to be putting this in our Etsy shop along with this, which is just a book box, and the journal that it will go with is the small journal that's mostly unembellished, which is why I'm putting the kit with it, so you can embellish it if if it's something that you would want. I'm giving you all the stuff to embellish it, so it's got a few things in there, but for the most part it's just lightly embellished. But it's a lot of fun. I like Poe, and especially at this time of year when we're getting towards fall. So there's our folio. I think we managed to fill it today. So thank you for joining me. Please put down in the chat what you're working on. I'd be interested to know what other people are in the mood for right now. And happy crafting. So thanks everybody. Oh, if you are not a subscriber yet, we would love to add you to our subscribers, and you can do that just by clicking the subscribe button. If you'd like to get notifications, click on the bell and you'll get a notification every time we upload a new video. And always appreciate a comment and a thumbs up. So I hope you had a chance to craft with me today, and that you were able to get some things accomplished. So thank you everybody, and have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.